The easiest way to get to Wah Fung restaurant is take the B or D train to Grand Street Station. Once you come off this exit, just look across the street, you'll see Christie Street. Just make a left there and it's towards the end of that block. Wah Fung #1 fast food is famous for their inexpensive roast meats and rice dishes. In particular, their roast pork and rice. There's always a long line here every time you come. I must confess, I've actually never eaten here. The reason is mainly because I don't like waiting in lines, and quite candidly, there are a lot of good restaurants in Chinatown that serve similar dishes. The question is going to be really the following. Is the reason why this place is so popular because it's inexpensive, or is it because the food is good? The other thing is going to be, is the roast pork here better than Big Wong's, which I consider to have the best roast pork in Chinatown? So we'll try to answer both of those questions as we eat here today. So Wah Fung opens at 9 o'clock, and already, right now it's 8:45. There's a line forming already. I came here early, that way I didn't have to deal with the line. But here we are. Here's their menu. I think I'm gonna get 3 things: the roast pork and rice, the roast pig and rice, and also the roast duck and rice. I'll get them all large. He's stung that roast pork into that sauce, so it makes it nice and juicy. So you get the small dishes for like $5.75 for roast pork, but I decided to just get 3 large dishes instead. Just putting in the cabbage into dishes. Oh, 攞底啊，3樣底。I love watching him chop the meat, the speed of it. If it was me chopping, I'd be missing a few fingers. Carving and chopping a duck is an art form. I can't imagine how many ducks he cuts up in a day. You can't replicate the effectiveness of a meat cleaver. Look at the size of that portion of duck. You get your money's worth. Man, look at the size of those dishes. Awesome. They don't have seating, so I'm going to the park across the street to eat and tape. Okay, this first dish is the roast pork dish, so let's take a look at this. So, see some nice char here, nice fatty bits here. This looks really good. There's a nice red color here. There's the cabbage underneath, and obviously we have the rice, so let's give this a taste. Okay, this is the roast pork. I got a piece with the char, very tasty. I love the rich, sweet and savory sauce of it. I tell you, the meat's very tender also, so let's try one more piece. The one thing I saw is that they dunked the meat in the sauce beforehand and they pulled it out, so it keeps it nice and juicy. This is really tasty. Wow, look at that. This is their signature sauce, and I can see why it is really good. Oh, look at this piece here. Very fatty. My wife's gonna kill me because she doesn't want me eating fat stuff, but this is so tasty. Wow. Try a little bit of cabbage here. It's good. Wow. I think the key for good roast pork is that you want to have that nice char. You want a nice char outside. Inside you want nice tender. You want bits of fat to give it that nice flavor. And the chow silk definitely has it. So I can see why this is so popular. Also put a little ginger sauce in it. So ginger sauce is really not for roast pork. It's really good with actually getting a soy sauce chicken or just roasted chicken. It's excellent. Okay, second dish we're gonna try, it's gonna be the duck. Now they're also well known for their duck, so if you look at this here, this looks really nice. Obviously duck is a fattier meat than chicken or beef, but you can see some of the fat here. The meat looks really tender. The skin is not that crisp, it's a little bit soft. I like crisp better, but let's taste it. The real test is always gonna be in the taste. Here's the duck. I'm gonna throw in these pieces here. Has a nice flavor. The thing about duck is that sometimes it can be a little gamey, but this is definitely not gamey. The meat's definitely very tender. With the skin again, it's not really as crispy as I would like it, but it's still very tasty. And again, nice fat content here. It's really good. So the drumstick piece of it is always going to be one of the, to me, dark meat's really tasty. So, that's so good. Wow, delicious. Again, I would prefer it if the skin was more crispy, but still very tasty. There's a very sweet, savory taste to duck that you can't replicate with other meats. Again, they have some of this ginger sauce, but not really applicable to duck. This is really good. Wow. Okay, the third and final dish is the roasted pig. The key to this, as always, is going to be that mixture of a nice crunchy skin, the tender beef, and some of the fat. It's that combination that gives us that incredible flavor. They put the ginger sauce here, so ginger sauce could be good for this. So this looks pretty amazing. So let's dig in. Okay, this is the roasted pig. So as always, we start with the skin. I got a nice piece here. I know you can hear that crunch. Nice and crispy, wow. I like that. Definitely like that. Okay, let's try a piece of the meat. The pork is very tender. Mixing with the fatty content, it really is a very flavorful piece of meat. Wow. Got a little bit of fat, a little bit of the meat. The meat is very juicy, very tender. The fat is the kind of fat you enjoy eating. What a nice combination, wow. Another piece of nice skin. Look at that. Wow. We got 3 dishes, right? It came out to a little under $25. So $25 with 3 large dishes. And I tell you, each of these dishes, they're more than enough for lunch or dinner. So that's a real good bargain. And so far, the quality of food is really good. Some ginger in this one. Wow. In this bite, I got some of the skin, the pork, the fat, little ginger. A nice overall explosion of flavors in my mouth. That's really good. Wow. So that was an awesome meal. The food at Wah Fung's was excellent. Let me start with the roasted pig. It had a nice crunchy skin. The meat was very tender. The fat was very tasty. And that blend of the fat, the crunchy skin, and the meat made for a delicious bite every time you got it all in one bite. Really good roast pig. The roast duck, also very good. I would say that I would prefer if the skin was a little more crunchy, but it wasn't. But overall, it had a nice flavor. It was not gamey. The flavor of the duck was really very, very tasty. To the start of the show, the roast pork. Again, had nice char. The meat was very juicy, very flavorful. I think part of their secret is that they leave it in the sauce, the marminade, and then they bring it up and cut it up. So it keeps it nice and wet, nice and juicy. So I think that's part of their secret. Overall, it's very tasty. Now the question is that roast pork better than what I had at Big Wong's? It is pretty close. It's right up there, actually. I would say that Big Wong's is probably just a little better, but not by a mile, just by a little bit. So overall, the food here was excellent. The roasted meats are delicious. I can see why people are waiting. Now the key is going to be, this is incredible value. The 3 dishes came out to $25. They were $8-9 per dish, and it's a large size with rice and some cabbage. If you went for a smaller size, I think the smallest was $5.75 for the roast pork and the rice. So really a bargain in terms of getting food anywhere for lunch, especially this quality of food. So I would say the lines are worth it if you're willing to wait. If you're not willing to wait, perfectly understandable. So overall, I would say this, Wah Fung to me lived up to its reputation, lived up to the hype. The food's excellent. I'm glad I finally tried it. I'm ashamed it took me this long, but again, I don't like lines, so I'm glad I came here before 9 so that I was among the first people to go in there and get my food, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, so you do not miss future videos. I think one thing I'm gonna try to do is look around more and show you some of the other places that serve these good roasted meat dishes.